Hello there, Tales of Comfort friends, and thank you for joining me for another month of Food for Thoughts. This month I decided to take a step back from the typically educational books that I have been reviewing and have a little fun with imagination. I love learning about pets and pet care, but variety is the spice of life, and I did actually learn more from this book than I thought that I would. So this month I will be reviewing A Dog's Purpose by W. Bruce Cameron. If you don't know much about this book, it is the story of a dog's life journey or multiple life journey. The protagonist in this book experiences some pretty typical things for a dog, like going to the vet and being bored when his owner leaves home, but then he also experiences some not so typical things, like search and rescue training and severe neglect. What I found to be really interesting in this book was that you really get an idea for how difficult life can be for a dog that's just kind of thrown into situations that they have no control over. One of my favorite parts, though, was when Bailey meets his family for the first time. And I feel like us as pet owners know how exciting it can be to get a new pet and just the first moments of that, but Cameron did a really sweet job of portraying how the dog was feeling in that situation. So I would like to share with you. When the front door of the house banged open and a human being like I'd never seen before ran out of the porch, jumped off the cement steps, and stopped dead in the grass, we stared at each other. It was, I realized, a human child, a male. His mouth broke into a huge grin, and he spread his arms. "A puppy," he sang. We ran to each other, instantly in love. I could not stop licking him, and he could not stop giggling, and we rolled together in the grass. I guess I never bothered to consider that there might be such thing as a boy, and now that I've found one, I thought it was the most wonderful concept in the world. He smelled of mud and sugar and an animal that I'd never scented before, and a faint, meaty odor clung to his fingers, so I licked them. By the end of the day, I would know him, not just by the smell, but by sight and sound and gesture. His hair was dark, like Bobby's, but very short. His eyes were much lighter. He had a way of turning his head to look at me as if he were trying to hear me more than see me, and his voice bubbled with joy every time he talked to me. See, that just gives me the warm fuzzies. It really doesn't surprise me that in 2010, when this book was originally released, it spent 52 weeks on the bestsellers list. And clearly someone wanted to see it on the screen because it was released to the cinema in January of this year. I did go to see the movie in hopes that I could come back with this really awesome book-movie combo review, but it reminded me that I really just need to stick to my books because the movies are never as good. I was actually really surprised and kind of sad to see how much it veered off from the integrity of the print, but I mean, I guess creative differences. So since this book is so much different than the books that I have been reviewing before, my tidbits are not necessarily based on this book, but more the questions that came up over the time that I was reading this book. But they're pretty broad and interesting. I learned a lot, so I hope you will too. I did put a link to my Facebook in the description, so follow me for a little more food for thought throughout your month.